Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story of what if Naruto has Saitama's powers, One Punch Man. Let's see how everything changes if Naruto was OP from the beginning. Let's begin now. Chapter 4. Naruto had been heading home after his trip to Ikiraku's with Hinata and Shino. When he remembered that he hadn't yet done his daily exercise. So instead of heading home, he went to his workout spot. That being the top of the Hokage mountain. Except for running. For that he just did laps around the village. After arriving at his destination he began his several hour-long workout. That he would be doing until late into the night. Just after midnight Naruto was just finishing up his 7th set of push-ups when he heard the alarm go off. Alarm blaring, what's that? He wondered. After standing up and brushing his hands off, he walked to the edge of the 4th Hokage's head to look down at the village. Did something happen? I better go find Gigi. He thought before he slightly bent his knees and jumped high into the sky. His destination was the roof of the Hokage Tower. With Hiruzen and the ninja, attention everyone. A nameless Jonin yelled. We have been informed that Naruto Uzumaki has stolen the Scroll of Seals. As such, everyone is to split up, find him, and return the scroll. He continued. Do not attack him. If you find him, tell him to come to see me. Is that clear? Hiruzen said. Yes, Hokage-sama. The gathered ninja yell. Though the majority of the Leaf's ninja were currently out on missions or were working in other parts of the village. 100 ninja answered the Hokage's summons at this late hour. Among them were Iruka and Mizuki. I don't understand why he would do this, Mizuki. According to the Jonin, Naruto passed all of the trials by such a margin that they believed he should just be made a chunin at the very least. So why would he ruin his chances at this point? Iruka asked. Maybe it's just in his nature, Iruka. You know what he is. Maybe that thing affects him more than he led us to believe. How else do you explain that freakish strength of his? Mizuki asked. His pride as a shinobi had been torn apart after his treatment at the hands of the blonde. He worked harder than anyone. That's where his strength comes from and not that thing. Iruka yelled at his friend. All I'm saying, Iruka, is that, maybe he isn't who you thought he was. Naruto may be a lot of things. He's hyperactive, stubborn, a menace to our peaceful days. But, he's no liar. I believe that if he did take the scroll, he had a reason for it. As do I, Iruka, Hokage-sama. Iruka and Mizuki greeted Hiruzen who had overheard Iruka's speech and decided to come over. How can you be so certain, Hokage-sama? Mizuki asked. I've known that child since he was born. And in all the time, I've never known him to have malicious intent towards the village or its inhabitants. Despite their intent towards him, he has always had one objective in mind. What's that, Hokage-sama? Mizuki asked. Hiruzen had a small smile flit across his face for a moment, before a look of neutrality replaced it. He desires to protect the people he cares about. That strength he possesses was gained solely for the sake of his precious people. He also doesn't want to be forgotten again. He added in his mind. Maybe he decided to take a shortcut to gain that power. Mizuki asked, sweat starting to form on his brow. He hoped they would spend the night hunting for the blonde brat while he made his getaway. But if this was how the Hokage felt about him, maybe his plan wasn't as foolproof as he thought. Regardless, find him, but do not attack him. I want him brought to me unharmed, understood? Yes, sir, they saluted before hopping away. Iruka, let's split up to cover more ground. All right, he agreed, hopping in one direction while Mizuki went in the other. With Naruto had been in the air for about 30 seconds, just looking down on the village. He watched as the ninja from the gathering divided into groups and spread out over the village. And using his chakra-enhanced hearing, he had listened in on Iruka, Mizuki, and Hiruzen's conversation about him. I never knew Iruka-sensei thought about me that way. He whispered. Sure, the two of them had gone out for ramen a few times. But all this time, Naruto had assumed he was just another student to Iruka. Gigi, I can understand. He knows me better than anyone. It is nice to hear his thoughts though. He thought as he came in for his landing. Flipping in the air so that his feet would touch first, he softly touched down on the roof of the Hokage Tower. He walked over to just above the balcony, then dropped down and waited for Hiruzen to show up in his office. Luckily, he didn't have to wait long. After only 5 minutes of waiting, Hiruzen arrived. After opening the window, Naruto charged in. Gigi, I need to talk to you HMPH. Naruto had tried to tell Hiruzen that he didn't have this scroll they were looking for. But one of Hiruzen's Anbu guards attacked before he could finish. The Anbu got in a lucky shot while Naruto's guard was down. Why would his Gigi attack him, after all? Hitting Naruto on the back of his head with the blunt side of their sword. They had hoped to knock him out in one shot. They failed, spectacularly. After noticing that their blade had broken over the blonde's skull and that the blonde had turned to face them, they chose to engage with him in taijutsu, as the space was too confined for ninjutsu to be effective. Leading off with a front kick aimed at Naruto's stomach, they attempted to quickly pacify him before he could attack the Hokage. In their mind. And it was at this time that the other three Anbu guards jumped in as well. Naruto grabbed the first Anbu's leg via the ankle and spun them in a circle around him, catching the other three in the process. Before letting go and watching the four of them go sailing out the window he entered through. I'm sure they'll be fine. Is there a reason you're bullying my ninja, Naruto? Hiruzen asked as he lit his pipe. See, he's not worried either. Hehe, sorry, Gigi. He said while rubbing the back of his head. Sigh, it's fine, I gave them specific orders not to attack you. So it was warranted. Hiruzen replied while looking between the broken blade on the floor and Naruto. I don't remember that being there when I entered. Hiruzen said. Naruto asked with a tilt of his head. So Hiruzen pointed at the blade. Oh. That's what your Anbu hit me with, I guess. What? Are you okay? You're not bleeding anywhere, are? Hiruzen asked, panic on his face. I'm fine, Gigi. Hehe, my head's pretty hard. Naruto said as he knocked on the top of his head to demonstrate. If a sword, wielded by one of my Anbu broke over your head. I'm not sure, hard, is an adequate description. Hiruzen thought with a deadpan look coming over his face, replacing the panic. Puffing, are you here to return the scroll? Hiruzen asked while puffing on his pipe. And trying to ignore the implications of steel breaking over the blonde's head. Oh, right. That's what I came here to tell you, Gigi. I never had the scroll. Naruto replied. Oh. Then why did I receive a report earlier tonight, stating that you had broken into my personal vault, and were seen fleeing the scene with the scroll on your back? Puffing, tell me, Naruto. Where were you earlier tonight? Hiruzen wanted to believe the blonde. But he had to make sure before he moved on to the next suspect. Well, after the last trial today, I went out to eat ramen with Shino and Hinata. After that, I went to the Hokage mountain and started exercising. That's where I was for the rest of the day, Gigi. So, someone knew Naruto was going to be out of sight for the rest of the day and decided to use the transformation jutsu to frame him. But who? Naruto. Yes, Gigi. Naruto asked. Bring me Mizuki, he was the one to file the report. I want to see what he knows. Yes, Gigi. Naruto was about to start running when Hiruzen called out to him again. Oh, and Naruto. Yes. If Mizuki refuses to come quietly, feel free to use force. How much force, and why wouldn't he come? As long as he can answer my questions. As much as you like. As for the why, that scroll is dangerous, Naruto. We have to get it back. How dangerous, Gigi? Dangerous enough, that it could mean disaster for this village. Hiruzen glumly replied. I see. A dangerous smile spread across Naruto's face before he jumped out the window, and into the night sky. With Mizuki after splitting from Iruka, Mizuki had cut across the village to where he stashed the scroll of seals in the red light district. Upon retrieving it, he made a mad dash for the exit. It was only after he arrived at the exit, that he noticed it was heavily guarded. Turning and making another run for it, he hoped he could get out through the secret tunnel he had been told about. Why he didn't go there first, is anyone's guess. Running at the speed he was, and for how long he had maintained it, caused him to grow slightly tired. Out of shape much. Almost there. He said to himself. Almost where, Mizuki-sensei? A voice asked from behind him. To the secret exit, I was told about. Mizuki's mind was telling him something was wrong, but he couldn't think of what. Or, he's just dumb, to begin with. And, who told you about this exit? It was Kabut. His mind finally figured out what was wrong. Looking behind him, he saw Naruto keeping pace with his frantic sprint, almost casually. Actually, Mizuki thought Naruto looked bored while running behind him. Oops. Hehe, You caught me, Mizuki-sensei. Naruto said with a smile. When Mizuki came to a stop, Naruto copied him. Panting, "What are you doing here?" he yelled, looking around to see if any other ninja had followed him. Hehe, following you, Mizuki-sensei, was Naruto's answer. I'm lucky he's such an idiot, otherwise this could have ended badly. Mizuki thought, a sneer appearing on his face for an instant. Before being replaced by a look of friendliness. Why do you have that large scroll on your back, Mizuki-sensei? Never mind that, Naruto. Say. Did you ever wonder why the village treated you the way they did? Yes, why? Do you know why they treat me that way? Naruto asked, his normally smiling face being suppressed by the question. I'm not supposed to say, orders of the Hokage. Tell me, Mizuki. A chill went down Mizuki's spine from the look that had appeared on Naruto's face. Total apathy. He had seen looks like that on war veterans, but never on someone the blonde's age. This brat thinks he can intimidate me. I'm a goddamn chunin if he thinks I'm scared of this. Then I've got something to wipe him of that assumption. Mizuki snarled inside his mind. Do you remember the stories we used to tell your class, about how the Kyuubi destroyed most of the village? And it was only thanks to the fourth Hokage, that we survived. You said he killed it, then died of his wounds shortly after. That part is, slightly wrong. How so? The fourth didn't kill the Kyuubi. He just turned him into you. Die demon brat. Mizuki roared as he yanked the Fuma shuriken off his back and prepared to throw it. That's just stupid. They treated me that way because I'm the Kyuubi. Naruto wondered. When he snapped out of his confusion, Mizuki had already thrown his Fuma shuriken. So, Naruto simply caught it between his thumb and forefinger. Then redirected it back at Mizuki with a flick of his wrist. Mizuki ducked under the blade and came up ready for a fight. Naruto was nowhere to be seen though. Gigi wanted me to bring you back to him. He also said that I could use as much force as I wanted. And though I really want to just punch you right now. I did promise to bring you back alive. Naruto said from behind him. Mizuki spun around with a backhand aimed at Naruto's face. It was stopped with one hand. Naruto grabbed Mizuki's wrist and started to slightly squeeze. Hehe, Mizuki-sensei. Naruto said with a smile on his face. Gulps, what? He could feel his bones creaking. I got you. Naruto said, his smile getting wider. Can you just let me go? He asked. Only now starting to think that maybe this wasn't such a great idea. Nope. When Naruto answered, Mizuki was lifted off the ground and held above the blonde's head. Before being viciously slammed into the ground on Naruto's other side. Gah. Mizuki felt his bones break, and blood shoot from his mouth. Naruto didn't stop though. He just lifted him again and repeated his action several times. Wham asterisk wham asterisk wham asterisk wham. After the final slam, Mizuki was little more than a pile of mush. He was still alive though. Just in a lot of pain. So Naruto lifted him up so he could see Mizuki's eyes. You took something from my Gigi, Mizuki. Something that, if it had fallen into the wrong hands, would have meant disaster for him and the rest of the people I care about. Remember that, the next time you try to steal something. I don't care what happens to most of this village, but if you or anyone else harm the people I care about, I'll kill them. Naruto roared in Mizuki's face, a cloak of red flickered over the blonde's body before it quickly disappeared. I always knew you were a demon. These were Mizuki's last thoughts before he passed out from the pain. What's that smell? Naruto asked as he sniffed the air. Sniff asterisk sniff. Ew. He shit on himself. That's just nasty, Mizuki. Naruto yelled, before jumping off into the night sky. Bringing Mizuki along with him. With Hiruzen had been waiting patiently for Naruto's return. He did not doubt that he would succeed in his mission. When he heard a thump coming from his balcony. So you've returned, Naruto, my god. What is that smell? Hiruzen asked, covering his nose with his sleeves. Hehe. Mizuki. Hiruzen nodded before ordering his Anbu to get that smell. Read as a person. Out of his office. And though they glared at the blonde for a moment, they followed their orders. Told you they would be fine. Tell me everything. So Naruto did. He told him how he found Mizuki, what Mizuki had told him. And his subsequent manhandling of the Chunin. I see, so now you know the truth. Hiruzen solemnly said. Were you ever going to tell me? The blonde asked. Hiruzen could hear the pain in his voice. I was. Hiruzen nodded. When? After you received your genin headband tomorrow. Why didn't you tell me before now? The pain in his voice was clearing up. You were too young to know the truth. I didn't want you saying something to the wrong person and getting hurt. Oh. There's something else you should know. What is it, Gigi? I know who your parents are. What? But you told me that you didn't know. Naruto accused. I did, and I apologize for that. Naruto slightly calmed down. So, who were they? I can't tell you yet. I swore to them that I would follow their will, and you were not to know who they were until you reached Chunin rank. You're not telling me, or you? Not tonight, I'm afraid. I must follow their will. Whines. Come on Gigi. Can't you just give me a hint? Chuckles. No, I'm afraid I can't. Sigh. Fine then, I'm going home. Night Gigi. See ya tomorrow. Naruto jumped out of the window again, on his way home. Good night, Naruto. Sir. One of the Anbu said to get Hiruzen's attention. Yes. The scroll of seals has been successfully recovered, and Mizuki has been taken to the emergency hospital wing, where he'll be questioned in the morning. Good. Good. Any word on what he planned to do with the scroll? None yet, sir. Mizuki was not in good condition when we brought him to the hospital. He hasn't spoken a word since he was brought to you. Keep me updated. Yawns. I'm going to retire for the night. Yes, Hokage-sama. After the Hokage left the room, the Anbu began talking. You're lucky you had a faulty blade, Neko. Otherwise, you may have killed the boy. A large Anbu with a bear mask said to a much smaller Anbu wearing a cat mask. There was nothing wrong with my sword, Kuma. Neko snarled. Obviously there was, how else do you explain it shattering over his head? Tora, an Anbu with a tiger mask asked. I don't know. I've had that sword for years and never had any problems with it. Neko. Maybe that's it then, it was just old. Tora, or maybe there's something even more unique about that boy than just the Kyuubi. Kuma said as he thought back to the blonde easily throwing them out the window. Sigh, and to think I have to be his Jonin instructor after tomorrow. Neko complained. Chuckles, didn't you want to be a Jonin instructor, though? Tora, not to someone like him. I wanted someone to pass my techniques down to. He's a brawler, not a swordsman. I'm sure it'll work out in the end, Neko. Give the kid a shot, okay? Kuma asked. Sigh, alright, I'll save my judgment for after we've been together a while. Don't expect much though, I may be back in here with you two after a few weeks if it doesn't work out. That's all anyone can ask of you, Neko. I just hope the blonde brat isn't as bad as they say he is. Neko thought. That's right, Neko is going to be Naruto's Jonin sensei. The next chapter is the team assignments and Naruto's first mission. Chapter 5. Here it is, the team selections. The next morning the remaining students had all gathered inside the classroom again. It was finally time for them to get their headbands, so there was a lot of excitement coming from the students. We made it, Ino Pig. We're about to officially be ninja. Sakura squealed. I told you you would do fine, forehead. Ino yelled back. It wasn't just them though. The other girls, minus Hinata, were in a group talking with each other. And all of them were hoping to be on Sasuke's team. While the 4 girls were celebrating. There are 5 girls and 10 guys. Hinata was at the back of the class talking with Shino. Why are you not over there with them, Hinata-san? Shino asked, motioning at the girls. I don't want to talk with them. They give Kunoichi a bad name, with their fangirling. Pot calling the kettle black here. Are you not the same way about Naruto? Right. No. I am nothing like them. She yelled, startling Shino. I see. My apologies then. Sorry about that, Shino. It is fine, Hinata. Over with the guys. Minus Sasuke, we did it Akamaru, we're about to be ninja. Kiba arf asterisk Akamaru mumbles, so loud, Shikamaru. Munch, think we could go out for barbecue after this. Choji, sounds like a plan. Kiba, and over with Sasuke. I will kill my brother and get my revenge for I think that's enough of that. The door to the classroom slides open, to reveal Naruto standing there. Hey, everyone. We did it, we're going to be ninja now. He cheered as he ran around the classroom. Why are you so happy, Naruto? You didn't even finish the last trial yesterday. So who knows if you passed or not. Sakura. What do you mean? We finished the last trial. There's no way you three caught a Chunin. Besides, Sasuke-kun finished first and he had to wait until the rest of the teams exited the forest. But we never saw you three leave. Ino. He didn't finish first, we did. Stop lying, Naruto. You may be a bit stronger than normal, but not even you could capture a Chunin. Sakura, Naruto-san is not lying, we did capture our Chunin and exit the forest first. Shino. Oh yeah. Then why weren't you waiting for the rest of us when we exited like Sasuke-kun was? Ino yelled, perhaps we finished too soon, so he let us go instead of forcing us to wait. Shino said while pushing his glasses up. Then tell us, how long was too soon, huh? How fast did you supposedly catch your Chunin? Sakura joined in the yelling. They caught their Chunin in 15 minutes and 47 seconds. Kakashi said as he walked in the door followed by the other Jonin. That's impossible. Sasuke stood up from his seat. There's no way the Dobi, the creep, and the useless Hyuga caught a Chunin in that time. I don't even believe they caught him at all. Sasuke yelled. What you believe is irrelevant. What we tell you is the truth. Asuma replied, an unlit cigarette in his mouth. Scoffs, please, I'm stronger than the three of them combined. But, it took me 2 hours to catch my Chunin. 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 32 seconds to be exact. Not bad for a genin. Still, doesn't change what actually happened though. Kakashi said with his face buried in a book. And, what happened exactly? Simple turns page you lost. I don't lose. I'm an Uchiha. And, you still lost kid, get over it. Asuma, don't call me that. Sasuke snarled. Size, I feel sorry for you Kakashi, you're stuck with him. Kurenai. Thanks for reminding me. Ahem, everyone turned to see who had walked in the door and saw it was Hiruzen. The entire class stood to attention. Hello, Hokage-sama. Hey, Gigi. Puff. Good morning, everyone. I have here the list of students who will be part of the same team, as well as who your Jonin sensei will be. Skipping the first two as they are unimportant. The official Team 7 will consist of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Sai. Your Jonin sensei will be Kakashi Hatake. You're an assault team. Kakashi motioned for the three to stand in front of him. Team 8 will consist of Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame, and Kiba Inuzuka. Your Jonin sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. You're a tracking team. She motioned for them to do the same. Team 9 is still in circulation as well. So Team 10 will consist of Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka. Your Jonin sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. You're a capture and interrogation team. The three stood in front of him. That leaves you, Naruto Uzumaki. Because we have an odd number of people after the inclusion of Sai. I have decided that you will be on a two-man emergency response team. Your Jonin sensei will be Yugao Azuki. A purple-haired woman walked in at that moment and motioned for him to stand with her. These are the genin teams that you will be working with for the remainder of your ninja career. You are now comrades in arms, fellow soldiers, and a part of the Konoha family. You will look out for each other. You will fight for each other. And should one of you go rogue, they will be the ones charged with bringing you back or killing you. Remember their faces well, for they are now your family. Quote. After the Hokage finished his speech, the Jonin stepped up to their students and one by one gave them their headbands. All teams, meet at Training Ground 7 in 3 hours. Use this time to get to know your teammates before you arrive at the training ground. Dismissed. Asuma said before he and the other Jonin walked out the door. Followed by their teams, leaving Yugao, Naruto, and Hiruzen in the classroom. So, you're the one who broke their sword over my head, huh? Naruto asked to break the silence. I don't know what you mean. I've never met you before today. She responded. Don't try to lie to him, Yugao. You'll want him to trust you from now on. Hiruzen said before he also left. Sigh, yes, I'm the one who broke their sword over your head, why? Are you mad that I did? She asked, genuinely curious. Hehe, nah. I'm not so easy to piss off. Besides, you weren't trying to kill me, were you? If I were, would I have used the back of my blade? See. I knew it, hehe. Knew what? That you weren't actually trying to hurt me. That's why I just threw you instead of punching you, he replied with a bright smile. While she gets a deadpan look on her face. You threw me and 3 other Anbu out of an 8-story window. Hee. Sorry. Sigh, whatever, let's get out of here. Any place you know of where we can talk. Ikiraku's. Isn't that a ramen stand? Why would you want to go there? She had a feeling that she shouldn't have asked that question. Because it's only the greatest thing to ever happen to man or ninja kind. It's the food of the gods, the reason the earth spins, and the reason for life itself. But most importantly, because it's ramen. He yelled before grabbing her wrist and jumping out the window. After running all the way to Ikiraku's. With Yugao being dragged behind. Naruto sat her down on a stool and situated himself beside her. Hey, old man. We've got a ramen emergency over here. What's the emergency, Naruto? Toiki, old man Ichiraku asked as he came out of the back room. She doesn't know, old man. She asked why I come here. You've gotta show her. Naruto begged. Laughs, I'll see what I can do, Naruto. Toiki went into the back room for a few minutes. Before coming back out with one gigantic bowl, and one smaller, read as normal-sized bowl. One miso ramen for the lady, and the, Naruto, special, for you. He said with a smile. Thanks, old man. Naruto dug in while Yugao ate at a much slower pace. They sat there for an hour. She asked about Naruto's life, what he did for fun, his favorite food. Should have been obvious, and he asked the same in return. Then she asked if he knew any techniques. Wait, so you don't know any techniques besides the Academy 3? Nervous laugh, I can only really do 2 of those. The transformation jutsu, and the substitution jutsu. I've never been able to do the clone jutsu right. Ah. The Hokage told me about your problem. He did. So he knows why I can't do the clone jutsu, he asked. He does. Well, what's causing it? Simple, you have too much chakra. Quote. Too much chakra is a bad thing. Not necessarily. Having a lot of chakra can be a good thing if you have good control over it. So, if I learn to better control my chakra, I could do the clone jutsu. Nope. Naruto face faulted. But, you just said that if you could control your chakra, having a lot of chakra was a good thing. And it is. You, however, have way too much chakra to ever be able to do the clone jutsu, which requires barely any chakra at all, to perform. So, you're saying I'll never be able to do the clone jutsu? Not necessarily, you just can't do the normal clone jutsu. What other kinds are there? Of just the clone jutsu? There are quite a few variants of the clone jutsu. There are elemental clones, illusion clones, and shadow clones. Just to name a few. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. The first 2 I understand, but what's a shadow clone? He had never heard of that one before. Yugao seemed to think for a moment before she said. I think we should make a stop by the Hokage Tower. Before we head to Training Field 7. Standing up after finishing her bowl of ramen. Come on, Naruto. If we go see him now maybe he won't be too busy. Hey, wait. I haven't finished my ramen yet. Turning his bowl up he quickly slurped down the remaining noodles and broth. Bye old man. Tell Ayame I said hi. Chuckles, will do, Naruto. You have a nice day hanging out with the pretty lady. Naruto blushed as he ran to catch up with Yugao. Are you okay, Naruto? Your face is red, she asked. Yep, totally fine, he quickly answered. After walking for a few minutes, Naruto remembered that she never answered his question. Hey, Yugao-sensei, what is the shadow clone jutsu? The shadow clone jutsu is a technique that creates an exact copy of the ninja who uses it. Doesn't the normal clone jutsu do that, as well? That is where the difference lay. While they are both clones, the normal clone jutsu is just an illusion. The shadow clone jutsu, however, is a solid clone. Capable of doing everything you can do, only not as durable. She explained. That's so cool, he said with stars in his eyes. I thought you might say that, she replied with a smile. Hokage Tower. Hokage's office. Hiruzen had only just returned from his own lunch when he was told he had visitors. Hokage-sama, Yugao Azuki, and Naruto Uzumaki are here to see you. His assistant told him. Oh. Very well, send them in. She walked out of the room, and a few seconds passed before Yugao and Naruto walked in. Hello, Hokage-sama. Yugao said while bowing. Hey, Gigi. Naruto waved. Naruto. Show some respect to Hokage-sama. She admonished. Chuckle, calm down Yugao, it's fine. He's called me that since he was little more than a toddler. If I had a problem with it, I would have stopped it long before now. Hiruzen replied. Yeah, Yugao-sensei, calm down. Naruto joined in. Sigh. Yes, Hokage-sama. Now, was there a reason you came to visit? I doubt this is a social call since I just saw you less than 2 hours ago. Hiruzen said as he lit his pipe and took a few puffs. Sir, I just wanted to pick out Naruto's jutsu scroll he was promised. Ah, I was wondering who would be the first to pick up their scroll. I take it then, that you believe him to be ready now. Yes, sir. Alright, follow me, you two. He stood up and walked over to a bookshelf, where he pulled out a book from the very top. Click. The bookcase slid open to reveal a room with shelves on every wall, and scrolls scattered all over the floor. Don't mind the mess, I have yet to clean up after yesterday's incident. Yugao entered, completely ignoring the mess while Naruto stayed back. Aren't you going in, Naruto? Nah, Yugao-sensei said she was going to pick the best one for me. And, you trust her? Not really, I do trust you though. So if you trust her to teach me, then I'll learn to trust her too. Naruto answered with a smile. A smile grew on Hiruzen's face. I see. Yugao exited the room after only a few minutes of looking around. And with her, was the scroll of seals. Apologies, Hokage-sama. But I thought it would have been best to get it from the source. Which jutsu am I getting, Yugao-sensei? Naruto asked. The Shadow Clone Jutsu. The Shadow Clone Jutsu, most likely. Yugao and Hiruzen answered. But, why couldn't you teach it to me, Yugao-sensei? As I lack the chakra to perform the jutsu, I never bothered to learn the seals necessary to perform it. Oh. Naruto took the scroll from Yugao and sat down on the couch in the corner of the room. Before he opened it and began practicing the hand seals. After he found them, of course. Meanwhile, Hiruzen and Yugao sat down and talked. It has been quite a while since you last tried to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Yugao. Who knows, you may be able to use it now. Perhaps I'll try again after I get him situated in his new role. Very well. The two would continue to talk for the remainder of their free time, while Naruto tried to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And its variants. 45 minutes later, oh. My apologies you two, but I have a lot of paperwork to complete. No problem, Gigi. I think I've got the hand seals memorized anyway. We also need to get going, Naruto. We're supposed to report to Training Field 7 in 15 minutes. Let's go then, Yugao-sensei. Bye Gigi. Naruto yelled as he jumped out the window. Sigh, that boy is too excitable. Chuckles, wait until you see him exercise. I think I'll manage. How hard could a genin's training regimen be? She asked before following Naruto out the window. You'll be surprised. Hiruzen mumbled. Training Field 7 after everyone had arrived. Plus additional wait time for Kakashi. The Jonin decided to have everyone formally introduce themselves along with their specialty. I guess I'll begin. Asuma stepped up. My name is Asuma Sarutobi and I will be in charge of Bukijutsu and tactics. Nice to meet you. I'm next then. My name is Kurenai Yuhi and I will be in charge of Genjutsu training. Nice to meet you. Yugao Azuki, sealing and first aid. Pleased to meet you. Sai, Kakashi Hatake, ninjutsu, and teamwork. Curse you Kakashi and your hip ways. The final Jonin yelled. Yosh. My name is Might Guy, Taijutsu, and your physical training regimens. Pleased to meet you, my youthful friends. After the Jonin introduced themselves and what they were in charge of. They had the students take turns introducing themselves as well. I guess we'll go in the same order our Jonin went in. Sakura. Murmured agreements yawn. Let's get this out of the way then. I'm Shikamaru Nara, specialty is my clan's shadow possession jutsu. Pleased to meet you. Shikamaru then went to sleep. Munch, Choji Akamichi, specialty is my clan's body expansion jutsu, and eating. Pleased to meet you. Ino jumped up next. Ino Yamanaka, specialty is my clan's mind-walking jutsu. Pleased to meet you. She finished with a wink in Sasuke's direction. Which he ignored. My name is Hinata Hyuga, and my specialty is my clan's gentle fist and my Byakugan. Page. Please take care of me. She glanced at Naruto repeatedly throughout her introduction. Alright. My name is Kiba Inuzuka and this here's Akamaru, Arf. We specialize in taijutsu and our clan's beast mimicry jutsu. Nice to meet ya. Shino Aburame, specialty is my clan's kikaichu. Nice to meet you. He finished with a bow. Sai, my specialty is my ink techniques. Nice to meet you. He added an incredibly creepy smile afterward. Sakura Haruno, I don't have a specialty. I have good chakra control though. HNN*, Sasuke Uchiha, specialty is fire-style jutsu and my Sharingan once I awaken it. It's not your specialty if you can't even use it yet, Yaimo prick. Naruto yelled. Says Udobi, what's your specialty anyway, annoying people to death. Says the guy who's never beaten me in a fight. Scoffs, once I unlock my Sharingan, you'll be shown just how inferior you are, Dobi. Boys, enough. Kurenai yelled. Sorry, the name's Naruto Uzumaki, my specialty is fighting. Pleased to meet you. Yash. My name is Rock Lee. Specialty is taijutsu, nice to meet you. He yelled with a blinding smile. Tenten, Buki Jutsu, and Sealing. Nice to meet you. Neji Hyuga, the specialty is my clan's gentle fist and Byakugan. Asuma stepped up as he had been made the leader of the Jonin group. Excellent, now, we have a little training exercise for all of you to complete. What is it, Asuma-sensei? Ino, simple. You just have to beat Naruto in a fight. Wait, that's it. We just have to beat the blonde in a fight. What does that accomplish? Tenten, it'll show you just how strong some people can be. If you can beat him, we'll buy you any one thing you want. So one of us just has to beat the blonde and they get a reward. Sounds easy enough. Tenten, no, not one of you. It's all of you, versus Naruto, at the same time. Kakashi, group yelling, what? You heard us if the lot of you can beat him in a fight. We'll buy each of you any one thing you may want. If Naruto wins, however, he gets an all-you-can-eat pass to Ikiraku's. Yugao, Naruto's eyes lit up and he started glaring at the others. But sensei. That's not fair to Naruto, he couldn't possibly beat all of us by himself. Sakura, well then, you have nothing to worry about, do you? Asuma, alright. All I can eat Ikiraku's, here I come. Naruto yelled as he stood up and started stretching. You'd better prepare yourselves. He's coming in 5 minutes, so if I were you lot I'd come up with a plan. All students except for Sasuke, Neji, and Rock Lee formed up. Hey, we need to come up with a plan. Shikamaru. HNN*, useless, I can take the Dobi, alone. Sasuke, no need, I am fated to win, already. Neji, Yash. It is most unyouthful to team up against one opponent. I shall challenge him alone. Rock Lee. Sai, whatever, let those three distract him while we come up with a plan. Oh, come on. No genin is so strong that he needs this much preparation. Tenten, listen up. Naruto over there may be an idiot, hey. But he's a monster combatant. He was so strong at the age of 10 that the Chunin wouldn't let us fight him anymore. And if my hunch is correct, he's gotten much stronger, since. Shikamaru. Alright, I'm listening. Tenten, here's what we'll do. 5 minutes later, everyone ready. Kakashi, yes. Begin, Yash. I'm first slam. Naruto had disappeared from where he was, only to reappear in front of Lee. He grabbed Lee's head and slammed him to the ground. Crash clap. Naruto vanished again and Neji was grabbed by his ankles and slammed into Lee, who was already on the ground. Naruto appeared behind Sasuke, who was slapped in the back of his head so hard he face planted into the ground. Naruto vanished again. Whoa. Did you see the tap Kiba was flicked on his forehead hard enough to make him flip. Naruto was gone again. Where is he? Choji, slam. Whoosh pow. Choji was thrown into Shikamaru. Naruto then caught the two of them by their legs and redirected them into Shino. Naruto vanished yet again. Naruto appeared beside Sai Nok. Sai's jaw was hit at high speed. He collapsed to the ground as if his strings had been cut. Naruto was already gone by the time he hit the ground. Tap tap Hinata, Sakura, Ino, and Tenten were each bonked on the head just hard enough to render them unconscious. Naruto reappeared holding Akamaru by the scruff of his neck. Who was whimpering? Do I have to knock him out too? He pointed at Akamaru. The Jonin all had a look of disbelief on their faces. They had all known that Naruto was strong. They didn't understand until this moment, just how strong he really was. No wonder the Hokage put him on a solo team. They all thought. What really surprised them, however, was just how quickly he was able to eliminate his opponents. From the second Kakashi said to begin, until the end. Only 10 seconds had passed. No, Naruto. You can let him go. Asuma, okay. Naruto sat Akamaru on the ground. He ran over and hid behind Kiba's unconscious body. So, how about that all-you-can-eat ramen pass? Sigh, here you go, Naruto. Have fun. Kurenai, yada. Ikiraku's here I come. He dashed off, leaving the Jonin and their students alone. Yugao. Don't say it, Kakashi. I pity you for having to deal with him every day. Sigh, thanks. Chapter 6. While Naruto was out enjoying himself at Ikiraku's, the Jonin were talking while waiting for their students to wake up. I never would have thought a genin could be so strong. Kurenai admitted from where she was sitting on the ground. Neither would I. Can you even compare him to a genin at this point? Yugao asked. You two know as well as I, that rank doesn't equate strength. Asuma, he's right. Kakashi said with his head in a book. Naruto's flames of youth burn incredibly bright for one his age. Guy groaned. Wah. What happened? Rock Lee, Yash. My student awoke before yours Kakashi, this is my win. Whatever. Gah. Curse you Kakashi. He yelled then stood up and walked over to Lee. Hello, my most youthful apprentice. How are you feeling? Like I was hit repeatedly by you, Guy-sensei. Laughs, yes, you took quite a hit. Can you stand? Lee quickly jumps up and stomped his feet. Yash. Of course, Guy-sensei. A little pain won't keep me down. Chuckle, that's my apprentice. Come, have a seat while we wait for the others to wake up from their naps. Lee and Guy walked over to where the other Jonin were sitting, and sat down. One by one the other students woke up, were checked on by their respective senseis, and were told to take a seat to wait on the others, quietly. They were told not to ask questions until everyone was awake. The last to wake up was Sasuke. Sasuke grunted as he lifted himself up. Sasuke-kun. Sakura and Ino yelled then they ran to him, are you alright? He didn't hurt you too badly, did he? The two worried over him while he was attempting to walk over to the group. Sasuke ignored them. After reaching the group, he dropped tiredly onto his butt. What happened? He asked. What happened? Simple, you lost, again. Kakashi, how? Sasuke, well, let's start at the beginning. But first, who can tell me what you all did wrong? Asuma. The students looked at each other. None of them came up with anything though. Sigh, we were divided instead of working together. And we tried to fight him fairly even though we knew he was much stronger than us. Shikamaru. Ding ding, tell the man what he's won. Iruka was right, you are smarter than you look. Kakashi, Shikamaru grumbled something that sounded suspiciously like, fuck you. The Jonin ignored it though. We told you he was coming at you in 5 minutes, yet you didn't prepare. Sure you came up with a plan on how to prepare, but coming up with a plan and executing it are two very different things. You should have been executing your plan as you thought it up. Not waiting for the 5 minutes to be up, then executing it. Asuma. You told us not to begin until after the 5-minute countdown was over, though. Ino, wrong, I said, he will be coming in 5 minutes. I didn't say you had to wait that long to attack him. Kakashi. Isn't that cheating? Sakura, you're ninja now. And an honorable ninja doesn't live a very long life. You have to attack when presented with the opportunity. And try not to give your enemy the same opportunity. That is how you win a battle. Asuma. But Guy-sensei. You always said to fight with honor. Doesn't this go against the very thing you taught us? Lee, when fighting comrades, yes. In a real battle, however, honor is what the victor says it is. Guy. That doesn't make any sense. How can you define honor just because you won? Sasuke, because it's hard to debate the meaning of honor when you're dead. Yugao, exactly, so what if you fought with honor if you lost? Hooray for you. You're the most honorable corpse in the graveyard. Kurenai. The students were rendered silent after Kurenai's remark. Then, what should we have done? Choji, you should have used the time we gave you to hide, set up traps, even attacking early would have been better than just standing there. You're ninja, act like it. He looked at the faces of all the students. They got up to leave, but Sasuke was held back by Kakashi. Sasuke, come with me for a moment. What is it? In private, Sasuke. The two walked further into the woods, away from the prying eyes and ears of the other students. When Kakashi felt they were far enough in, he put away his book and focused on Sasuke. What are you doing, Sasuke? I don't know what you may. Don't lie to me. I knew your brother when he was your age and he would never have taught you to directly challenge someone who's superior to you. Dark chuckle. My brother didn't teach me anything. I was never good enough for him to train. To him, I was always the worthless brother, the one who was so weak he didn't even bother killing me. Sasuke snarled. Sigh, is that what you think? That your brother actually believed you were worthless? What else could it have been, huh? I heard it often enough from him. Sasuke, you're pathetic. Sasuke, you're a disgrace. Sasuke, you are weak. He yelled. When I knew your brother. He never stopped talking about how proud of you he was. How you were going to succeed him. How you were going to surpass him. The man you're describing isn't your brother. I don't know why he did what he did. But the man you're describing sounds an awful lot like your father. A man your brother despised. Then, why do I only remember him acting that way? That, I don't know. Maybe one day you'll get to ask him. Kakashi started to walk away. Kakashi-sensei. What should I have done? About Naruto, I mean. Who is the most powerful ninja you know, Sasuke? My brother. Sigh, I thought you might say that. Very well, who do you think would win in a fight between your brother and Naruto? My brother, easily. That's where you're wrong. Your brother may very well win that fight. But definitely not easily. Do you know why? Are you saying that Naruto, the Dobi, is on par with my brother? Sasuke asked. Sigh, let me put it this way. If your brother had a chance to prepare, he wins. If he caught Naruto unawares, he wins. But, if we lock the two of them in a room together, your brother will die 9 times out of 10. Okay, I get that the Dobi is strong. But, don't you think you're exaggerating a bit? He can't be that strong. Oh, but he is. Physically, Naruto could be the strongest ninja in the village. Potentially the fastest too. That threw Sasuke for a loop. He knew the Dobi was strong for a genin, maybe even the strongest genin in the village. But to be the physically strongest and fastest ninja. Then, how could my brother beat him? That's simple, your brother only fought a physical battle as a last resort. What made him the ninja people respected and feared? Was his mind. Add a Sharingan onto the mind that was always 3 steps ahead of his enemies. And you have one dangerous combination. I see. Have a nice day, Sasuke. Kakashi vanished in a swirl of leaves. My mind. Next day, training ground 7, 5 a.m., how on earth did you eat 5,000 ryo worth of ramen? Yugao screamed at Naruto. Hee. Sorry. Where did you even put that much ramen? You don't look like you've gained a pound. Oh, that's because I worked it off last night. Sigh, whatever, let's go join the others. She stomped off while muttering. Stupid blonde brat, that was an entire week's salary. Listen up. Today, we are going to getting everyone's first missions as ninja. Team Guy, as you are already experienced in this area. I ask that you only report to this field for team training once a week. Is that okay? Asuma. Yash. It sounds most youthful, Asuma. Let's go, team. We have missions to do. Guy said before he and his team left the training field. Asuma looked at the other students one at a time before he came to a decision. The rest of us will head to the Hokage Tower to get your first mission. After today, we will regroup here once a week for team training exercises. Is that alright? That's fine. Kurenai, yep. Kakashi. Sure. Yugao, alright, everyone, move out. The group left the training field on their way to the Hokage Tower. Nay, Yugao-sensei. Aren't we going with them? Naruto had to ask once he noticed that Yugao hadn't started walking yet. No. I'm sorry about this, Naruto. Hokage-sama has already given us our mission. Yada. What is it, Yugao-sensei? Saving a princess, freeing a country, are we going to bring down a Tyrant? Nothing so glamorous, Naruto. Go pack your bags for a 2-day trip and meet me at the gate, understood? Roger that, Yugao-sensei. Naruto replied before leaping into the air. Sigh, I was hoping this wouldn't come up so soon. She mumbled. She left the training field to go and make her own preparations. 6 a.m., Konoha Gates. Yugao was waiting at the gates for Naruto while trying to come up with a way to explain it to him. Yugao-sensei. Naruto yelled. He was running up to her with a large green backpack strapped to his back. What's that, Naruto? She asked once he had come to a stop in front of her. It's my ramen bag, Yugao-sensei. Holds forehead. Naruto. Where are your supplies? Oh, they're in there as well. A change of clothes, fire starting kit, first aid kit, and my goggles. While most of that sounded fine to Yugao, she wasn't going to think about the ramen. The goggles part had her confused. I'm sorry, goggles. Hehe, they were a birthday gift from Gigi. I carry them with me anytime I leave the village. I probably shouldn't have said that. Naruto felt he had walked into a trap after answering her question. So, you've left the village before. Hehe. Sorry. She glared at him for a few moments. Sigh, we'll talk more about that once we get back. Are you ready to go? Yep. Alright then, let's go. The two of them set out for their destination, which was a bandit camp a day's walk from the village. Normally, the Jonin would wait until the genin was a bit older before they took them out for their first, bandit extermination, mission. But this time, the Hokage was adamant that Naruto needed to get this experience in a controlled setting, rather than wait for something to happen and for him to freeze up during a mission, which could get someone killed. The two of them talked while they walked. Yugao told Naruto about her boyfriend, Hayate. And Naruto told her about his relationship with the Ikirakus. They continued to talk until they were about 10 miles out from their destination. Wait. Yugao whispered. Naruto came to a stop beside her. I didn't want you to have to experience this yet. Unfortunately, Hokage-sama overruled me. What is it, Yugao-sensei? Naruto tilted his head in confusion. Our mission today is to exterminate a group of bandits that have shown up too close to the village. And by exterminate you mean kill them, Naruto, we're here to kill them. Oh, Naruto seemed to turn a little green at the thought. Follow me, Yugao said. She led Naruto through the trees until the camp came into view. When it did, Naruto saw something he wasn't prepared for. No. Stop, please. Don't do this. A father screamed as his teenage daughter was being carried inside a tent. No. Let me go. Daddy, help me, please. She screamed with tears running down her face as she beat on the back of her captor. A big burly man, with a perverted grin on his face, who was surrounded by at least 20 other bandits. Easy there, girly. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself before we can sell ya. Laughs. Let go of her. The father roared. He tried to stand up, to save his daughter, to fight, to get revenge for his wife, who they had already killed. But he couldn't move. The rope that bound his body prevented him from doing anything. Yugao-sensei. Yugao, who had also been watching, heard Naruto whisper. She thought that maybe he was having second thoughts, or that he was just scared. When she looked at his face, though, those thoughts went out the window. Naruto had a look of absolute apathy on his face. I'm ready to kill them now, Yugao-sensei. He said as he stared into her eyes. The Kyuubi's chakra was leaking into his voice, making it two-toned. And his eyes had turned a violet color. Shivers. Yugao felt a chill run down her spine. The look on his face wasn't nearly as chilling as his tone of voice. Although Yugao hadn't known him for very long, she knew that, right now, the little blonde ramen lover wasn't the one speaking. Are you sure you can handle it, Naruto? Yes, I'm sure of it. He nodded his head, his voice settling into a much deeper tone than was normal. Then I'll be monitoring from here. If you need help, I'll step in, understand? Understood. He leapt from his place so fast, that not even Yugao could tell when he moved. And she was looking at him when he moved. With Naruto landed in the center of the bandit camp. The impact sent shockwaves throughout the camp, alerting everyone inside that they had an intruder. But Naruto didn't care. He wanted them to know he was there. Every bandit inside the camp came running to where Naruto had landed, and upon seeing him, they started laughing. Loud laughing. Look what we have here, boys. A little ninja has come to save the day. Are you lost, little ninja? More laughing. 15 of you, huh? What was that, little ninja? Where did you take the girl? Though the voice coming out of Naruto's body did unnerve them a bit. He was still just a child in their eyes. So they decided to taunt him some more. Oh. What's the matter, little ninja? Are you here to save the damsel in distress? Too bad, that girl is mine. Sure, She's a little underdeveloped. But her mother was stacked, so. The leader. Big burly guy said with a perverted look in his eyes. You die first. Naruto calmly said. Though his eyes did narrow, I what? Laughs did you hear this little brat, boys? He said I die first. Ripping sound the bandits, who had been watching Naruto, realized that he was no longer there. So they began looking around for him. They found him standing on the shoulder of their leader. With his severed head clasped between his two hands. Naruto added a bit of strength to his hands. And the leader's head burst. Naruto pushed down on his body with his right foot, causing it to collapse in on itself. His bones turning to powder, and the body burst under the pressure. So fragile. Like squashing a grape beneath my shoe. Naruto whispered. His eyes locating the other bandits. Some of them were vomiting. The others were just staring at him in horror. Yugao was too. That was when he moved again. All over the camp. Bandits were exploding into bloody messes that covered the floor of the camp. Naruto would only appear in short bursts before he would vanish again. And each time he did, a bandit would die. When only a single bandit remained. The rest had all been killed despite trying to run away. Naruto appeared in front of him. He was covered head to toe in blood and gore. His normally bright orange jumpsuit was dyed a deep crimson red. And his eyes had turned completely red, with a slit for a pupil. Now, I'll ask you again, where is the girl? Despite the deep tone of his voice, he spoke in a completely emotionless monotone. The remaining bandit, who had already emptied his bowels, starting spouting out locations of the other bandit camps that they had done business with in the past, as well as the location of their hostages. Thank you. Naruto took a step closer to him and had reached down to grab him. When Yugao showed up, Naruto, stand down. He glanced back at her for a moment. Before his features returned to normal. Okay, Yugao-sensei. Naruto backed away from the man. Report. She ordered. Trying to maintain her sense of calm after seeing the bloodbath the blonde just caused. As well as his sudden switch from the being that did it, back to the blonde ramen lover. So, Naruto told her everything the bandit had told him. Then he asked if he could go and free the hostage. No, as you are now. All you will do is frighten her even more. I'll do that, you go clean up. Yes, Yugao-sensei. He chirped before walking away to change clothes. So, you're going to let me go? The bandit asked. Sheeing Yugao sword flashed and the man's head was severed. A look of shock on his face. Of course, not. I just didn't want Naruto to ruin the evidence we had cleared the camp. She said to no one as she sealed the head away and went to free the hostages. Naruto's serious mode has been revealed. Just like Saitama has his serious mode. Naruto does as well. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.